Hello everybody, this is Cheri from DJ Sundries, and I have another capsule paper crafting card for you today. Now you may recall in the very first video that I did, I made several backgrounds. I made one that was just embossed, and the first card was white on white. And then I made another one that was watercolored, and it was very bold and bright and fun. We did a card with that one. But the third background that I made was a black and white background. Do you remember that one? Well, I have cut that down and I have a card for you. Now, this is the card. I've already started it just to save us a little bit of time. And what I've done is I have layered up 4 pieces of black cardstock behind the background. Now, you may recall that we talked about that in one of the videos about how that's one way that you can add thickness and that won't cave in the mail instead of foam tape. The reason I did 4 is because this is really thin cardstock. It's, I don't know, probably even maybe 60 pound. It's very thin, but it's the black that I have. And so I wanted to have that extra dimension, and the card already by itself feels nice. Now we do have a couple smudges in the embossing, which we had from the beginning, and so I'm going to kind of move what I have around those. Now this is going to be a really simple card, and then I have a bonus card that I'm going to show you that we're not going to complete using the same background that I absolutely really love. You may recall in the first video I also did some background just to have some frames. This was with an old tangerine also from the Capsule, from the Close to My Heart old section. And then I also did some sentiments. One of them was Hello Friend, and this was from a Simon Says Stamp set. And this is the bold sentiment from the Capsule, and it's called Beautiful Friend. So we're going to take that, those 2 pieces, and we're going to put together our card. And so to start with, I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to use this as a frame. I really like the stark contrast of the tangerine and the white with the black. I just think it looks really sharp together. So there is the sentiment, just like that. And then we're going to take our paper trimmer and we're going to trim around that. I typically just kind of eyeball my sentiments, lining it up, using the trimmer itself to help line up when I'm making cuts. And it's a simple way to do it, and the most likely way that I am to keep it straight, but I still don't have to do a ton of measuring. That's why I like it. I don't like to measure, not gonna lie. And then I'm just gonna kind of put that kind of off center. It doesn't really necessarily hide the fact that there's a smudge there, but if I go over here, actually I think I can pull that off. But I feel like it just looks better kind of in that lower 2/3, I guess, of the card. No, it's just under half. And I just like the way it looks just right like that. So I am actually going to use mostly ATG, but I am going to put a couple little dots of the Gina K Connect just because I want to have that extra stability over that embossing. Just like that. And then we'll kind of hide both of those. Just kind of square it up. Yes, I could get the T-square out, but I'm not going to. I can already tell that's a little bit off there too anyway, so we'll be okay. So now, just to finish up this card, very simple. And you think, well, that's just kind of a random floating sentiment there, and it's not centered, but it does kind of, you know, I've got it kind of going to the side, to the bottom, and I think it'll be okay if I tie it in with just a few little sequins. So I think what I'm going to do is like a little pattern, pattern of 3, and I think we're just going to stick one right there, and then we're going to come up here Stick one there. And then we're going to come down over here probably and stick one there. And then that kind of pulls us back to that sentiment. Now, I probably could cheat and use my little picker-upper, but I forgot to put that in my capsule. And I'm really trying, except for that one video when I lost my scissors, I'm really trying to stick to my capsule. So I figure if I'm careful, I can still use my fingers and I'll still get them placed. But it definitely is a little easier if you use the little jewel picker-upper. And then, so I'm going to leave those three there. And then I think I want to come off and do a couple coming off down here too. And I'll just do two. I'm going to put one here, and then we're going to come off and do one there. Now, if in my capsule I had jewels, that this would be a great place for them as well. However, I can tell you one advantage of not having jewels and not having a ton of dimension on here is I shouldn't need an extra stamp when I decide who will be getting this card. Always a bonus thought with that, especially as postage has gone up through the years. Okay, so the camera is actually picking those up pretty well. And they will dry, and that glue will dry back clear, so you won't be able to see the white underneath it. But even if you did, it wouldn't be a huge deal because there's white in the embossing. So that is our Hello Friend card. Very simple, but it just with all of that busyness of the background, I just feel like I don't want to do too much to it because I like the way that that orange just really pops off of it. So now let me show you the bonus card. So remember, this is a 6x6 inch stamp that we use for the background stamp. And so when I trimmed off, I had a piece, because I trimmed this at 4 inches, so I had a 2-inch strip, and I used that to make a bonus card. And that bonus card is right here. And I think this may be one of my favorite cards that I did with this background. Now there may be more to come, but for now I think this may be my favorite one. Very simple. Again, that pop of tangerine against the black and the white is just so pretty. And again, using everything from the capsule. And so really at the end of the day, this is the only piece of that I have left. I have a little tiny shiver that I think I had about 1/8 of an inch more to come off of here. And that's about it. This piece is the only scrap using that 6x6 background. So, and I'm not ready to throw that away because who knows, I might find somewhere to put that too, just the way that it turned out. So there we have our 2 cards using the black and white swirly background, and 2 more cards from our capsule. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch this today, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.